Your lifestyle number, whether you're wanting to share that or not, is going to be covered in 5 years. Where are you at? Where do you need to get to? You guys have to know why that you're doing this. If you listen to Kelly over here, like finding your purpose, you cannot be out there hustling, grinding every day if you don't have a why. If you listen to the podcast, it's helping moms build wealth, getting their time back, and building a life worth living. So, sorry men, just kidding. We were put on this earth to do more, be more, and serve more people. So I'm Brandy Lydon. I'm a local realtor and investor here in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm also the founder of Mom You're Not Alone podcast, and I'm a wealth and life coach. So I'm super passionate about getting people to build wealth. Sorry men in the room over here. I may focus really strongly on my mamas and my females, but only just because a lot of people focus wealth towards men and the females get left behind a little bit. So I'm going to be talking to everybody as a whole about building wealth, but I'm not going to get into my personal story here. I'll get into that at the end. I talk at the end of today, so I'm not gonna dive into that yet. But this will all make sense when we chat later. So super passionate about wealth. We're going to talk about. Does anybody know what the definition of your net worth is? Nobody?
Your assets less your liabilities.
Yes. The value of assets a person or corporation owns minus the liabilities that they owe. Okay, so we're going to chat about that. So what I want you to do, and you may not know all of this, but I want you to jot down. Okay, so we're going to talk about your assets. Okay, anything that you own. You could have a mortgage on it, but it's something you own, nothing that you rent, right? So house, cars, any asset that you own, I want you to jot down a roundabout figure, okay? And we're going to total up all of our assets, then we're going to total up all of our liabilities, and we're going to minus that out, and that is your net worth. Now, we're going to be just candid here. Most people's net worth is negative, yes? Everyone in the U.S. has debt, unfortunately, student loans, debt, all of this, yeah. So most of us are going to be in the negative at this point. And the goal of this session over here is I want you to, first step, it's kind of like AA, right? Like admit where you're at. So just we want to know where we're at, and then we want to make a plan for where we're going to get to, okay? Now, I'll share, this is a little bit of my story, but I'll share this. In 2007, 8, y'all know the real estate market and that. Okay, I had to file bankruptcy, me and my husband. And so I've been there. Like, I don't want you to think, oh, this little lady is up here like trying to spit knowledge at us, and I've never been through anything. I've gone through that, and I had to get myself back up to where I am today. So I see you, I feel you, no matter where you're at in this. No one's going to be looking at your paper, no one's going to be judging you, but what we're going to start with is list out all those assets, okay? I have a house that's worth blah, blah, blah. Have a car that's worth this, okay? So take a couple minutes and list all of those assets, roundabout figure of what you own and what they're worth. Market value. And if you're finished with that, on a column beside it or down below, I want you to write out all liabilities, okay? This is anything you have a loan on, anything you owe on, okay? So yes, you had this house that's worth $500,000, but I owe $375 or $400, okay? So liability is $375 beside that. I have this car, it's worth $20,000, and I owe $15,000. Okay, so we're gonna write all the liabilities, anything you owe that you're making a payment to a person, a bank, whatever. Credit card debt, all of it. Any payments you're making. Not rent, I'm talking about loan, some kind of credit card loan, okay? So we're gonna list out all the liabilities, and I want you to total both of these columns up. Some people want to leave the 9 to 5, some people want to create generational wealth. Those are the people that Now, you may want to get real specific. If you guys want a true like net worth calculator, if you go to brandylydon.com, there's a little button, free net worth calculator, click it, boom. You have a full spreadsheet where you can adjust this and edit it, okay? So, is anybody need a little bit more time, or are we good for this exercise? Good? Okay. Okay, cool. So, assets minus liabilities. Circle that number. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge your neighbor. Don't look at your neighbor's sheet. We could be in the negative. We could be zero. We could be in the positive. All right? And I want you to look at that number and think, is this where I want to be? Okay, most likely we can all say no, right? We want to get better. That's why we're here. And I want you to set a 1-year goal. We're going to talk about that and what that looks like. I want you to set a 5-year goal. And I want you to set a 10-year goal. Okay, now, and we're sheerly talking about that net worth number. Okay, so I'm going to make an example. Like, let's say I'm negative 10,000 or something like that. That's my net worth. All right, year 1, I want it gone. I want to be 0. Okay, year 5, I want to be 50,000. I want my net worth 50,000. Okay, year 10, you know, we could have big goals. All right. There's Keller Williams has a wealth group, and you had to write a $50 million net worth plan for yourself. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna throw up. Like, what? You know, and so I'm saying that just to say, like, I want you to think as big as you possibly can for yourself. Nothing's gonna stop you, no limits. You've got to think, you know, way bigger than you think you're capable of, okay? So write down that 1 year. This is in regards to the net worth. The 1-year goal. Write down a 5-year goal and a 10-year goal for these numbers, okay? If you have a spouse at home, share this. Talk about this. You guys want to be on the same page with each other because it's accountability that is going to get you there and push you through. Because like Melissa got up there and talked about finances the whole time. Does anybody love to talk about finances? Yes? Yes? Yeah? Oh, can we some lenders? Okay, all right. Okay. So most people do not love to talk about finances. And for you to sit there and look at your number, okay, we're also going to pause a little bit. I want you to take the belief of I'm worth, this is my value and my worth, in relation to this number. So like throw that out the window, because I don't want you associating something negative with that number. Like, it is what it is. It's kind of like, you know, like AA, like, hey, this is where we're at, okay? I'm not in AA, I'm just referencing that. I do like to drink occasionally. But no, it's like you're just assessing where you are, and then we're making plans for the future, okay? So, but just don't let that determine your value or your worth, okay? All right, so have we all set goals? 1, 5, 10 years? Yes? Okay. Does that 10-year number scare you? No? It's not big enough. Double it. Does anybody's 10-year number like scare them? Yep, then you made it big enough. Yes, JT? Yeah? Okay. All right, so what I want you guys to think is there's nothing stopping you from getting where you want to go, okay? Now, let's talk about we've talked about the goals. Let's talk about how are we going to get ourselves there. Okay, so if we're talking about net worth, we're building our wealth somehow. And like Melissa said on stage, you can build it a whole plethora of ways. We can build it through real estate. We can buy rentals. We can do short-term stuff that Vernon's talking about. We can do all kinds of things: real estate, stocks, investments, mutual funds. I'm not going to pretend that I'm a financial advisor. But there's all kinds of ways to do that, right? So if you're not knowledgeable in those ways, get yourself a professional, set yourself some true goals, okay? Now let's talk about passive income. Let me ask the room a little bit. Who has like a 9 to 5 that they're like, okay, yes, all right. So let me talk to you guys first, and then I'll talk to my entrepreneurs that have a little bit more flexibility. So 9 to 5 people, you guys you clock in, you clock out, okay? So I would say for you, your number one goal is like get a skill, find a skill that you can do, like a side hustle, and pour yourself and learn. Do something that's going to be able to make you, an extra stream of income, okay? If you guys are entrepreneurs, is anybody limiting your income? as an entrepreneur? Most likely not, right? Okay, so we have unlimited income if we have unlimited willingness to hustle. Yes? All right, so you've got to find some kind of side hustle, set yourself some goals, decide what it's going to be to build this wealth. Is it real estate? Is it, getting a professional financial advisor to help you? And I'm not talking about, like Melissa said, you can walk into the office and say, hey, I have $10 a week, I'm ready to invest. It's not, you can't really put that like, oh, I'm not at that level yet to go in and talk to this person, or oh, I don't have a down payment, I can't really talk to this real estate agent. Get in touch with a lender, somebody that is like, and set a plan for yourself, okay? So now we're going to dive into passive income. And does anybody have that's willing to share and be vulnerable with this? Does anybody have a passive income goal, like of the next 5 years? You want to get to this amount in the next, Corey, go.
I don't fully believe in the term passive income, but as passive income can be, I would like to all of my basic life necessities. So mortgage, food, daily expenditures to be covered by.
And in 5 years?
In 5 years.
Okay. So your lifestyle number, whether you're wanting to share that or not, is going to be covered in 5 years. Okay. And how are you going to get there?
I need to buy more real estate.
Okay.
And
Where are you at, and where do you need to get to?
so I have one.
Okay.
Probably need 2 more. And then I would pair it with traditional investments too, so it'd be cash flow off of traditional.
Okay. Okay. So a little bit of a combo. Who else raised their hand? JT, what's your 5-year passive income goal?
To live my ideal life, it needs to be around 500 a year, or 500 a year passive. So
Okay.
I would like to have 350 of that be passive. Yeah.
Okay. 350. Get your calculator out. What's that divided by 12? That's your monthly passive income. How much? What is it? Okay. All right. So that's your goal in 5 years. And then anybody with a 5-year goal, you guys know you got to break it down by the year. And how are you going to get there? And so you break it down and you set those goals, and then how are you going to get there? Okay? So have yourself an accountability partner when it comes to building your wealth. That could be spouse, best friend, mentor, somebody random, somebody sitting beside you that has no idea what your life is and what you're going through. Whoever it is, just have yourself a mentor. Who got on stage and said a no mentor? I'm like, my brain's Angie. Ha, no mentor. You guys need a wealth mentor. Okay? And it can be someone in your same, right in line with you. It can be someone ahead of you, whatever you. It's just an accountability partner on your wealth journey, okay? So I challenge you guys to do that. So passive income, ways that we can get passive income. Can we share a couple ideas? I mean, we know that we can buy a real estate property and have rentals, right? And that's passive income, yes? Can anybody share another way? Ryan?
There's residuals, index funds.
Yep.
There's many.
Yeah, any financial advisor. Yeah, the Rolex card of all the options there. Yes? Okay. Now that's getting yourself educated or finding an advisor to help you out with that. Anybody else? Anything else that can be passive? Yes.
Just lending in general. Like people need to sell. Everyone needs money in somewhere usually. So you can lend on basic necessities.
Being the bank. You be the bank. Yes, absolutely. Yep. If you've got some money that you can do private lending, absolutely, yeah, live on the interest. Do it. Any other ideas for?
Without getting too in depth, there's ways you can become your own bank and lend from yourself.
Yes.
I know that's curious for everybody, like what that means. We don't have time to talk through that, but it's essentially just utilizing another vehicle.
Yes. You being the bank, you're just not funding. You're
utilizing leverage from your own resources to be able to go
to do that. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so there's lots of options for passive income. Real estate, be the bank. 5. Okay, got it. I might go. Yeah, I got to keep myself in check here. Okay, so we've talked about where you're at on your net worth journey, setting goals to get yourself there. Yes. 1, 5, 10, and then passive income and what your goal looks like there. Now, another thing that I want to talk about, like in your wealth building journey, you guys have to know why that you're doing this. Like, so if you listen to Kelly over here, like finding your purpose, you cannot be out there hustling, grinding every day if you don't have a why. Okay, so I'm going to challenge you guys, if you do not know your why, dig a little bit deeper on finding your purpose and why you do what you do. Okay, and I'm 42, almost 42. It took me till a couple years ago to truly find my purpose, and so and loved helping people. Like, done really well in real estate, loved helping people all along, and poured into my people and the relationships and all of that. But truly finding my purpose, it's if you listen to the podcast, it's helping moms build wealth, getting their time back, and building a life worth living. So, sorry men, just kidding. No, men listen too. It's just not directed towards you guys. But anyway, so find your passion, and I think that if you didn't listen to Kelly's talk, maybe she can share some slides, like if you missed that breakout on finding your purpose. But I think we just have to be open. We have to have our ears open, our hearts open, our minds open to, I'm going to get spiritual on us, so like what God is calling us to do. Because exactly like what Vernon said, we were put on this earth to do more, be more, and serve more people. Okay, so I want to have a little bit of time for Q&A, just because I feel like it's really important, and I know we got real all up in your business writing these things down. So do you guys have questions for me on? Yes.
I didn't get your last name, and wanted to know the name of your podcast.
Lydon, Brandy Lydon, and it's Lydon. And podcast, YouTube, it's just at Brandy Lydon. But podcast is Mom, You're Not Alone. That'll make sense later today. All right, questions on building wealth and... Oh, sorry.
How can I just speak to women better about finances?
Okay, so you feel like you're not being relatable in having conversations with them?
I feel like I'm doing good, but I figure I can do better. I'm just curious on your insight on that, since that's your expertise. Okay,
so, and you're in lending, I'm reading? Yes, okay. All right, so I think that, and I could speak for maybe, you guys can tell me yes or no, the women over here. I think it's intimidating to talk finances, and unless this is your industry, to talk finances, to talk wealth. If you're in a traditional scenario where you're married and the man handles everything, you're not feeling confident talking about it. You're not feeling like that's your place, your role. You know about it. And if that's not your situation, then that's probably not where you're at. But I think there's a lot of that. So it's like just being like open and not judgmental in the conversation. Asking questions that aren't, I wouldn't say offensive, but so just coming from a little bit more of a nurturing, maybe, aspect. Does that answer your question?
Because of financial decision makers in the household too. I've had a lot of lenders in the past address stuff to my husband.
Oh no, I never do that.
Because I'm usually the budget person in our house, and so I've been like, thank you. You can send an email to me though.
Asking who the decision maker is, but keeping both people in the loop, probably. Yeah.
I was getting stuff sent directly to my husband and leaving me out of it. And if it's sent to both, that's fine. But if it was just to one, it was him. I was like, okay, but I want him to send you everything and have all the discussion.
Got it. Yes. Question. Yes.
I think what's also intimidating is the vocabulary. Anytime you're in a field that you don't know, it's the vocabulary that is overwhelming. And sometimes when you're talking to anyone in any field, and they're rattling off acronyms or just words that are part of your industry, and they just keep moving forward, not giving that space to ask the question, what does that mean? Now, you don't want to assume they don't know it, because that would be terrible and assumptive, but leaving space to ask questions, and then especially if you're throwing out industry terms, just pause a little bit and give that room.
Okay. Joe's telling me Done. Time. Are we good on questions? Did you guys find value in this? Are you going to go home and do your homework? 1, 5, 10? Yes. Yes. Yeah.
How do you,
He's still talking.
what's your guideline for goals? Like 5 years, 10 years? Like what do you, I just like arbitrarily like picking a number in the sky right now and putting it down.
Okay, so you've got to know like some sort of plan. I mean, I always say shoot for the moon, because if you fall somewhere, like, you know, is that not better than like, oh, I'm going to be this is a realistic goal, and then you just barely move up. You know what I'm saying? So I say just shoot for something obnoxiously unrealistic. Now, your plan to get there, I mean, I think it's reasonable. How are you going to get there? So it's the planning part of it, but just make it crazy and then figure it out. God will provide. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.